People always ask, how do you get better at doing art? Or how do you grow your artistic practice? The best thing that you can do is to approach your work with confidence. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. When you approach your work with confidence, it doesn't mean that you are always going to be confident, but if you take on and embody the idea of being confident while you're doing your work, that confidence or that feeling is going to translate into your work. How you feel is going to show up and translate into your work. I look at artwork all the time, and when I see tense or terse lines or lines that don't connect or brushwork that's short and dashy looking, that's a sign that the artist isn't confident. When you're confident, your work is going to take on a whole new look. It's going to be fluid. It's going to flow. There's going to be a boldness of the line. And your work is just going to take on a whole new meaning and feeling. And that, believe me, that feeling does translate. How you feel when you show up to do your work, when you show up to do your art, your music, whatever it is that you do, it's going to translate into the art itself. So it's very important, even if you're not confident, even if you're not at the skill level that you desire to be, you can still approach your work with confidence, because when you do that, your work definitely takes on a whole new look. Now, how do you get into that feeling of confidence when you're not confident? Well, the best thing that you can do is to sit and relax. Before you start working, just relax. Because if you're feeling tensed up and your fist is all tight and you're holding the brush or the pen all tight, believe me, that's going to translate into your line work, your brush work, and how you express the drawing, painting, or whatever it is that you're doing. Loosen up, get loose, shake, do a wiggle, do some stretches, do some breathing. But the point is to get into a state of relaxation so that you can walk in the confidence when you do your work. Because you got all these things on your mind, or you're thinking about how this is going to look, or if I'm doing this right or wrong, or all these questions are going to pop up in your head while you're creating. But when you're in a relaxed state and you tap into that flow state where you're not thinking on all these things, but you're allowing the work just to flow, and you're allowing your actions to lead you, and you're allowing the art to happen, that's where the confidence comes from. And that, believe me, my friend, that confidence is going to be seen by other people when they behold your work. It's not like you're going to make mistakes, because believe me, you're going to make mistakes along the way, but it's easier to self-correct those mistakes. And it's easier for those mistakes to reveal a new thing when you're in a relaxed state, because when you're all tense and when you're all tersed up and tight, and you make a mistake, it's like there's an aggravation there, there's an annoyance there, and that annoyance takes you out of your zone. You don't want to be taken out of your zone. You don't want to be taken out that flow state because of the feeling of angers and frustrations. And believe me, it does happen when you're creating art, but you can avoid that just by relaxing and just by walking in the confidence. The confidence is that even if you make a mistake, it can be corrected, or the mistake can lead into something new. One of the things that I do to keep a boldness and freshness in my work is that I experiment. I always am looking at new materials, new mediums. I try to combine those mediums. I always approach my work with a sense of play. And by doing that, it helps me dive deeper into my work. I also remove all distractions when I work. I dedicate my space to work. Like when I come into my studio, I know that there's nothing to do except for work. There's no couch here. My phone is not in my hand. There's no TV down here, no radio. There's nothing in my studio to distract me from work. So when I come into my studio, I know that there is nothing to do but to work. So that helps me get into my zone and it helps to keep me focused. You want to get focused. You want to get focused on your task at hand. And like I said, having that focus and being able to zone in on what I'm doing helps me get into that flow state, into that zone that I talked about earlier. When you can tap into that and when you can just flow with your work and allow the work to happen, which I talk about all the time, that brings about a confidence. It brings about a joy. It brings about a peace, and it brings about a great satisfaction. And there's not ever a time where I don't encounter problems or I don't make mistakes, but I know that I have the resources and the abilities to handle those challenges and if need be, correct them. And oftentimes I often find that my mistakes lead me into something new and it could either change the direction of the piece or it won't. But that doesn't stop me or hinder me from creating. I don't allow frustrations to take me off my course. And I know my mission when I sit down to work. The other thing that's going to produce confidence is just the pure satisfaction of getting something done. If you can get over your procrastination and get something done, get something accomplished, even if it's the smallest thing, that is going to boost your confidence and that's going to propel you to even want to work more. There's nothing like setting a goal and meeting that goal. So what I would suggest is that set small goals. If you feel like you want to do ambitious work, but if you feel like it's too burdensome for you, well, break that ambitious work down into smaller chunks, chunk it down into smaller goals. By meeting your goals, by meeting even the smallest goal, that is going to boost your confidence and that's going to propel you to even want to do more. Now, I've said this before and I'm going to say it over and over again. Even if you feel like you're not at the level where you think you should be in your craft, if you're not at the skill level or have the skill set that you want to have right now, it's okay. You can still walk in confidence. And you want to be the master of your domain. Remember, you're an artist, okay? You are an artist. And when you step into your studio or your workspace, you are the conductor of the symphony. You are the master of your domain and take control. It doesn't matter if you're not at the level where you think you should be or where you want to be. You, that's not why you're here. You're here to create. So you create with what you have. You've been given an idea, you've been given a vision, and you may have limited resources in terms of skills, materials, or whatever, but that is okay. Create, just do it. Because at the end of the day, your art is going to speak to you, right? It's going to speak to you first. You're the one who got the vision. You're the one who got the idea. And just by you expressing that idea, that alone is going to propel you forward and to keep you going. So don't worry about if you're not good enough or if you feel like you're not good enough. You are. Believe me, you are good enough and you can do it. I believe in you. I trust in Yahweh that He is going to use you and to bless you. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and share. Don't forget to subscribe. I love you all. Walk in confidence and know that the confidence that you have, even if it's a little bit of confidence, the Bible says, if you have faith as a grain of a mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, be thou removed. All you need is a little bit of confidence. And that confidence is going to take you all the way over to the finish line. I love you all. Yahweh bless. And I will talk to you again soon. Peace out.